Any leftist who pretends to care about women but isn't highly critical of Islam is contradicting themselves, and they're either deliberately lying or they just have an incredibly incoherent, contradictory, self-contradictory point. Because Islam, even mainstream Islam, not even extreme Islam, all Islam's extreme. It hates women. It also hates men to some extent. It's just a terrible set of stupid, small-brained, low IQ ideas, like most religions are. And so, any leftist that says they pretend that they or says they like women's rights, who isn't highly critical of Islam, is a liar. Because these two positions are completely self-contradictory. Yet it's basically impossible to find any leftist aside from Sam Harris. Maybe one or two others I'm forgetting, but it's almost impossible to find a leftist who will criticize Islam. It's fucking bizarre because Islam is against almost everything they believe in, except brown is good. Not anything white is bad. Anything that's not white, therefore, must be good. The Noam Chomsky school of low IQ logic: white bad, brown good. West bad, so therefore anything that's not West must be good. Problem with that is it's fucking bullshit because Islam hates women. So leftists who have this stupid opinion must be called out continually. Oh, you're for women's rights. Tell me what you hate about Islam. Tell me what the parts of Islam that you dislike, beliefs that need to be eradicated the most are. What do you think about female genital mutilation? 18 of the top 20 countries for this are Muslim countries. What are your thoughts on female genital mutilation? How critical are you of that versus women being oppressed and dehumanized by being forced to wear a bedsheet? Fucking just drive the point home mercilessly with leftists. This double standard is insane. If you go on a women's march, ask all the people, what about women in Muslim countries? What do you think of them? Oh, we can criticize them. Well, why not? Oh, you think because you think Muslim women are lesser people, they're brown, so you think less of them, right? That's a bit racist. It's a bit. It's not even that they've got a complex web of lies or inconsistencies. It's on the fucking surface. It's 1 millimeter under the surface. Oh yes, brown women. We can't judge this culture where women are dehumanized by being forced to wear a sheet, where they're robbed of the basic social cues you have in society when you just walk around and talk to people in the street, or go shopping, or meet your friend, or see someone in the street and get eye contact with them, or laugh with someone. All of these things are taken away from women who have to be veiled, have to wear hijab or a burqa or whatever. The progressive taking away of their freedoms, their rights, and their basic humanity. Leftists won't judge that. If it was white people doing this kind of thing, leftists would say it's terrible. This is because leftists are just fucking racist against whites. But in so doing, they're also racist against non-whites because they have the bigotry of low expectations. Oh yeah, non-white, who are we to judge the dehumanization of largely non-white women in Muslim countries who are forced to be covered head to toe? Who are we to judge that? You're humans. You can judge something that's clearly inferior, but you're too scared to say it because your entire worldview is a house of cards built on contradictions and double standards. This means you need a rethink. This means that your points about caring about women's rights are bullshit. You don't care about women's rights. You are much more concerned about being consistent with a religion, an ideology, faith, leftist dogma, leftist faith that has nothing to do with consistent logical thoughts. Yes, leftists just hate women. If they were really concerned about women, all women of all races, they would be highly critical of Islam. They'd be highly critical of forcing women to cover up to dehumanize themselves. of stoning women to death for being raped. They'd be highly critical of honour killings of daughters of Muslims because they were raped. That Islam causes that. These are about the worst possible things you could ever imagine. But to them, the worst possible thing you could ever imagine is anything done by white people. Because white people are scum, as we know in the highly racist caste system that now exists on the left. The level of moral confusion here is staggering. And it's trivial to point this shit out. It's only the chilling effect of being called Islamophobic that stops people. Don't let it stop people. Don't let it stop you. Call this shit out. Who am I to say honour killing a child for being raped is bad? Yeah, you're on pretty safe ground if you say that's bad. Don't allow yourself to fall for the bullshit that covering yourself fully is empowering. That's fucking double. It's yet more doublethink from the left. It's not empowering. Empowering. It's dehumanizing. Your entire worldview rests on top of the fact that if you're this race and you do this, it's really bad. If you're that race and you do this, it's different. That's a double standard. If your entire worldview rests on top of double standards like this, you have an erroneous worldview. Whether it's in fact, whether you're on the far right or the far left, whether you think someone's bad if they're black and do this, or someone's good if they do the same thing and they're white, or the other way around, it doesn't matter. If white people force women to cover up like this, got married when they're 9 years old, as Muhammad did, that's bad whatever your race is. It doesn't matter. It's a principle. If you think everything a certain race does is good or bad because they are that race, uh, again, you have an erroneous worldview. You're just a racist, whether you're racist against whites, non-whites, or whatever. This is the left now. This is the mainstream left. Almost everything they think is a double standard, and it just needs to be stopped. Call it out wherever you see it.